What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USDT. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It's the 18th of July. Here we are at about 117.6K. 7 hours, 37 minutes left in the day, and we've seen a little bit of a spill. I want to go over something before we get into the charts, and I want to go over why we dumped real quick. I've been trying to get this right with my words, and I just can't seem to get it right, so I'm going to try right here. If you want to act accordingly for the next moment like this where we do see a massive dump based around a good news-driven event, hear these words and hear them well, right? Buy the rumor, sell the news. This is a saying that's existed since before crypto ever came about, back in the old days with the traditional stock market world, right? Buy the rumor, sell the news. There's psychological logic to this, right? Think about it. Whenever there's good news that's presumed to come out, let's say that there's a big event on the 15th of August. There's this rumor that Donald Trump is going to he's going to make all cryptos tax exempt. If you take gains off of cryptos, it's all tax exempt. And those rumors, that news comes out, and then the day comes out, Bitcoin's at new all-time highs. It's at $140,000. It's at $2 million, whatever the price might be. And then the good news comes out on that day. You sell on that day. 9 out of 10 times, if not 99 out of 100 times, that works. Why? It's because there are people on the inside, insider knowledge, who trade this stuff. They pump the markets up, and whenever the good news comes out, they sell. Who do they sell to? To you, who when you read the news, you're going to buy frantically, as quick as you can, because you are the exit plan. They need that added liquidity, and these news-driven events, of course, yesterday in Congress, whenever they passed the bills for crypto, or one bill, whatever, someone told me it's one bill and the other two have to go through Senate, whatever, but they're all getting more and more progressive and seeming like they're going to get passed. One bill's definitely getting passed today, right? Even though Trump hasn't signed it yet, or maybe he's signed it by now, I don't know. It's as good as done. The news has happened. We know that these crypto bills, the Genius Act is getting passed, and the other two, I don't remember what they're called. I just remember the Genius Act. We know they're getting passed, and whenever the good news comes out, people who knew ahead of time that it was going to get passed, people who were making plays on this ahead of time before it got passed, whether it was good news that it came out or bad news that it got rejected, it would have been a sell the news event, right? You sell the news that, well, whatever it is, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, you sell the news. I guess if it's a bad thing and we're at the bottom, right, then you'd want to buy the news, right? It's different. It's different for bull markets. It's different for bear markets. But like think about it this way, right? Show me the charts and I'll tell you the news. That's a saying too, right? The price oftentimes front runs the news. And why is that? Again, because there's insider knowledge. There's insider trading. People are making plays ahead of time. If the market dumps overnight, not like it did now. I mean like really dumps, like a black swan event dumps, you'll hear about why it dumped days later or weeks later even. You won't hear about it in the moment that it's dropping. But then there's some kind of news that's driven for that event, and oftentimes that news comes out at the bottom, or if it's good news, it comes out at the top. And then market participants get all in their heads, and it's meant to mess with your psychology. The media is not there to help you, okay? They're not there to help you. But once you start to understand this, you're not going to catch every high and every low, but anytime there's good news that comes out, you'll be weary. You might think, oh, maybe I should sell the news next time, or at least not go ham right now and just wait, hold off on putting more money into the markets and see how this plays out. News-driven events, which this was, especially at all-time highs, they're very obvious selling points, or at least fluctuation points. I don't think, and let's get into the charts now. I don't know how well I'm speaking here, but just I hope that sticks with some people. I had a lot of negative comments, you guys. I had a lot of people saying that I'm talking nonsense, and it was strictly from 10 to 13 hours ago, right? Whenever I made my last video, those first 3 hours, there was a lot of noise. A lot of you guys are talking smack. It got really quiet after we dropped. I've noticed people like to talk smack whenever they're ahead, but whenever things go down, it's not only that people don't like to talk smack for obvious reasons. Why are you going to talk smack? Because you lost, and I was proven right. How are you going to talk smack if I'm proven right? It doesn't matter if I'm right. I don't care if I'm right. You guys seem to care a lot, but also people don't. They don't give you praise, right? More likely than not, people will talk smack to you, but when you're proven right, those same people won't come back to give you praise and say, "Hey, I was wrong. You were right. Good job." It's funny how human beings are. But regardless of that, let's get away from that. Okay, let's focus on BTC here. We're not done. Okay, that was a big drop. That was a big wick there. We're not done, guys. We got more to go. These liquidation levels, On the 30-day time frame, we cleared out a lot of longs. Understand, we cleared out a lot of longs, but there are a ton. There's about $4 billion worth of longs at $115,000. Here we are at 117K. We were talking about this last night, how this kind of had this M shape, right? Is it on the day? No, it'd be on the 4-hour time frame, I think. Yeah, this M shape right here. And I know people, up here, they're like, oh, you're crazy, there's no M. But hey, do you see it now? Do you at least see it now? It's some kind of M pattern. And not financial advice. Not a financial advisor, but with M patterns, typically you'd return back to the base where the M started. You might even go below. Where is this base, right? On a closing basis, on a 4-hour closing basis, that's 116K. At the low, that's below 116K. $115,000. That's where $4 billion of liquidations happen, you guys. We got a lot of shorts that have piled on over the past few days because of this shakiness in the markets. Right? On the 30-day time frame, it was like $3 billion yesterday. Now it's at $6 billion. You look at the daily time frame, the daily longs eclipsed the shorts. Now look at this. We got $4 billion in shorts that piled on in the last 24 hours because of this drop. There's still a lot of longs here to liquidate at 116K. Do you think we're done here? Probably not. We're just getting started, my friends. And there's a thing. Here's another thing to help you. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but this is something that generally works. Don't treat it like 100% guarantee, but it generally works, okay? So this is an uptrend. I have a purpose. Just stick with it, okay? It's an uptrend. We're clearly in an uptrend. I don't think anybody would disagree. Whenever you move up, do you just move up nonstop, or do you have corrections? You have corrections, and that's what we're having right now. It's a little dip before the next rip. Okay, we're going to move up. We're going to move up a lot by the end of the month, you guys. This is a great time to buy, but I think you're going to have better times to buy if you just wait, you just sit on your hands. You look at the 4-hour time frame with corrections. Typically, corrections come in a 1, 2, 3 kind of formation. 1, 2, 3 kind of formation. Does that mean that we have to go lower than this low? No, we don't have to. And get this, right? So we're in an uptrend overall. But now we're kind of momentarily in a downtrend, right? The correction itself is a trend, and it's a trend within the trend. Your correction within the correction, right? If you're moving down from here, you've got a 1, 2, 3. The corrective phase within the overall correction, does that make sense? This correction too was a 1, 2, 3 correction. Do you see? Do you see how that happens? It's no coincidence. And that should tell you that, hey, this is just a correction of an overall larger move. And again, with this M pattern, and with how bullish Bitcoin is, and with how much demand there is, I'm not confident that we go below this low. I wouldn't be surprised if we would though. If this was anything else and it wasn't Bitcoin, I would have no problem doing this right here. I would go from a high to a low. I'd put this right here at that high, and then boom, that'd be your target, which is all the way down at 113.7K. Maybe we go down there. Maybe that's exactly where we go. 113.7, just below 114K. How many longs are going to get liquidated? 113.7, let's see, right there, boom. That's right after this last big spike. You guys, almost $6 billion worth of longs, the same amount of shorts that are piled on will get liquidated. How many more shorts do you think will get added on? And that'll be set up for a nice short squeeze. Would it make sense that we go down there? I don't know. Take a high to a low. Look at that. That's your primary target zone. The 1272 to the 1618. Has Bitcoin been showing significance to any of these levels recently? Hell yeah. Hell yeah it has. Let's prove that. Okay? High to low, right there. 1272, triple top, right there. Right? 1272. This is probably not going to work out well. I think that's a deeper extension. Yeah, okay, all the way up at the money zone there. Whatever. You found support at the 1272 and the 1618 area over here, whatever. We take this high to low. You stopped right there, right at the 1618. If we take a 1-hour look at this, and we go from a high to a low here, you stopped, okay, I guess you stopped to the 1886 there, but the smaller time frames, you tend to get deeper extensions. So all I'm trying to say, guys, is it's not far-fetched to assume that we could go down as low as 112.6K, as low as 114K, because again, with these longs, as many as are piled on now, typically when we move down lower, more longs will get piled on, more shorts will get piled on too. They'll clear out, they'll get pushed back. These high levels in volume, liquidity here, are not going to stay there. They're going to move back as the price goes down. And of course they'll diminish too, but there will still be, where here it looks like there's not that much liquidity, there might be whenever we move down there might be like this level of volume once we move down lower, if we move down lower. But again, because this is Bitcoin, and because there's more than just degens trading this thing, there are institutional players and government bodies buying this up, right? Corporations, like, because of that, I could see us hold this kind of formation here. And with that, we might have the reverse bow, as I've termed it, the W with an M in the middle of it. It could be an Adam and Adam pattern, Adam and Eve. I don't know. It could be a double bottom. I'm assuming a lot of people will go long here, which is also reason why we could go lower. There also might be a lot of people that go short there because they think we're breaking out, which is also a reason why we might bounce. And then beyond that, Bitcoin's bullish in itself, so that's reason enough to bounce. It's hard to say. But the dilemma here is not if it's going down, it's where it's going to go. And my expectation at the moment from a high to a low would be that we at least go here between 116.5 to 115.3. That's my minimum assumption. Somewhere in there. We're at 117.6 now. Does that mean that we're just going to drop down there by the time you watch this? No, we could be up. We could go right back up to 118.8K. We can pump a whole $1,000 and then some from here. And then go down. I doubt we do. But we could. We could. I mean, if we're looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, closing at the 188 or at the 886 like this line right here, closing here is not a problem. Closing below it is what opens up the floodgates to these lower levels. So as long as you're closing here and you're getting wicks, you very well could move up to the golden ratio, backtest prior areas of support as resistance, prior areas of support as resistance, prior areas of resistance of support of resistance as resistance, and then come back down. That can happen, right? You are trending down. You're not correcting anymore, so a 1, 2, 3 is not all you need for a correction. It could be a 4, 5. Five-legged patterns, 7-legged patterns even happen, especially on these shorter term time frames, guys. But I would at least think 116.5, if not 115.3. We're at 117.5 now, right? And as we get lower, these longs are going to be in more and more jeopardy, and that you're going to get a long squeeze. You've heard of a short squeeze, but you're going to get a long squeeze. We look at the last day, there are some shorts that have piled on. They're kind of exposed right now at 118.1K. Again, reason why perhaps we go up first and then we dump. That tends to happen right before a dump, right? You move up and then you dump. Another thing, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I saw somebody, I'm not going to give him a shout out because I like him as a YouTuber. I like him. I just don't think he knows what he's talking about. But there's a guy that I was watching yesterday who was talking about, and you know, just no offense, but you know people don't know what they're talking about if they're using trend lines like this as a means of, we're going to continue to find support and bounce, right? Whenever you have a trend line like this, okay, let's analyze this real quick. This is another thing to help you for the future, okay? Whenever you have a trend line like this, look at this. You moved up. That was a nice reaction, right? But how do you know this is a trend line? It's your first reaction, okay? Here, boom. There's your next bounce. Boom. Look at that reaction. That's a good reaction, right? Notice how the reactions get lesser and lesser. Do you see how you're losing steam off of this trend line that once gave you such a robust reaction? Do you see the losing of momentum here, and then coming back and crowding it like this? That should have been an obvious sign that we were going to break out, and break out we did. Absolutely, we did. Doesn't mean that we have to go all the way down here, no, but just throwing something in your arsenal as far as what to look for might make sense, right? And then here, I don't know, we probably have a trend line going down, but I don't want to draw that. I want to move on with the TA with my predictions. I'm just throwing out things, tips and tricks to help. And again, why do I call this the reverse bow? This like W pattern with an M in it. I don't know what it's called. It might just be a W, but it's like a W with an M in it. I've seen it so many times. To me, it looks like a bow. It looks like if you had an arrow, it would go right there. The arrow would go down, but it's the reverse bow because the price goes in the reverse direction. It's the reverse bow. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. It's the bow and arrow pattern, but it goes in the reverse direction. Maybe it's just the bow and arrow. I shouldn't call it a reverse bow. It's a W. It's just a W with an M in the middle of it. And you know that an M is taking shape whenever you have a shape like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. It could be a lower high, and oftentimes I feel like it is actually, or it could be a higher high. That happens too, and we've got that higher high right here. This soft kind of like slump. It looks like the Wojak, what is the guy's name? Not Wojak, but the guy that has he's like the Riri Jack, the guy that has the dip in his head. You guys know what I'm talking about? Crypto meme culture out there, anybody? It looks like this little slump in the head. Whenever you have that, if, not always, okay, not always, but if you get below this point, what you can rest assured on is that you know it's not stopping there. 9 out of 10 times, most of the time. It's not a guarantee, but 9 out of 10 times. We're in a position now where we know we're not going to stop. A lot of shorts are piling on probably because of that. So we might move up to shake out some shorts. That's all I'm trying to say here. And then move down. On the 1 hour time frame, we got 22 minutes left in this. We're at the oversold area. You kind of have a lower low, a lower high trend here. Maybe you come up and then you go down. Maybe we spend the rest of the day, Friday, moving up, and then we start moving down on Saturday again. I don't know. Bitcoin's been very volatile and very tricky lately. Not so tricky if you know what you're doing, but even then, even still, super tricky. You can't say it's not. Up and down every single hour, man. It's crazy. Like right now, looking at this, it looks like we're going to drop through. But are we? I mean, we could just as well pump $1,000 from here, and then the next hour, you dump back down. It's been very volatile on a small time frame, but very volatile. 1 hour time frame absolutely looks bearish. Absolutely, I believe that this trend, this downtrend, like most downtrends, will end once you're in the oversold zone. Not beforehand, right? You had a downtrend here, a little bit more of a steep pitch, ended in the oversold zone with some bullish divergence. You had an uptrend here, ended once you got to the overbought zone. You should have gotten in there, but you didn't. Okay? You turned it into a sideways trend. Your uptrend turned into a momentary kind of sideways phase here, and then boom, you started your downtrend. And I don't think we're going to finish our downtrend until we do one of two things. Either one, we do what we did here, but at the bottom, where we kind of just move sideways, which would imply at least another day of decay, right? Being down here, moving sideways on the RSI, down at the lows, equals dropping. Okay, understand that's what that equals. You get continuous. The longer that you stay down here, just imagine you flatlined and just moved like this, which you would never would, but that would equal dropping. Okay, technically, I guess it would equal a neutral price. I don't know. If you close neutral, do you move up on the RSI? I don't think you do. I think you just stay the same. Anyways, that would never happen. But just understand, the longer you stay down below the 40, the lower you will go. Okay, that's inevitable. But I wouldn't be surprised if we did move up from here. We saw maybe a higher high than this even, but a lower high overall, and then continue to move down. Okay, so don't get too excited by any kind of pump that might come your way. Okay, let me just look at this real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna move this up a little bit. Yeah. And okay, hold on. Sorry. Just getting some stuff in order. Looking at this here from a high to a low, if we were to go below this 886, not go below it, I shouldn't say that, but wick below this 886, close, not wick. If we wick below it, we're fine, but if we close below the 886, I think at that point it's time to consider 114 to 112.6K. And what better thing to get us ready for a pump than to clear out all these longs, pile on the shorts, and then we rip, guys. We are the, as Ivan on Tech would say, we are the dumpiest right before we're the pumpiest, right? It's always the dumpiest before it's the pumpiest. You look at the 4 hour time frame here, 4 hour RSI, looked bullish. I have to admit it looked bullish, but even the RSI had a correction, right? You're in a lower high trend. You even had a 1, 2, 3 correction in your RSI. You even had that there. We're likely going to go lower. I would at least think to the oversold zone, and just eyeballing it here with that, looking at the oversold zone, I would think we do return to these lows. But again, by the time you watch this, if we're up here at 118.8K, we're up at 119K again, don't hate me. We're still probably going down, okay? I don't think that we're going to go that high, though. If I really had to guess, I would think that we probably do not see prices back above 118.4K. Maybe we do, but I don't think so. I don't think we'll interact with this zone here. In fact, if we're looking at this, I'm assuming what we're getting here is probably going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fourth wave, which is a corrective wave. So in these waves, understand it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 is the impulsive. Maybe this whole thing's impulsive. I forget what it is, but it's the movement. It's the directional heading. 1, wave 1. Wave 2 is a correctional wave, so you go against the trend. Wave 3 tends to be the biggest, or wave 5. Wave 3 and 5 tend to be the biggest. Okay, so the evens are corrections. The odds are the driving directional things. Okay, wave 4 is typically the smallest wave. So as big as this wave was, this little correction here, this will likely be smaller, and it can just be a sideways kind of wave. I doubt that we will interact at this level at all, but maybe we do. And then from there, we will drop, okay? And by the way, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Who's to say that wave 3 is done yet? Because again, wave 3 normally is the biggest wave. And this is wave 1 here. When I say usually, it's like 60% of the time. It doesn't have to be, right? But look at that. You are just shy of this one. So maybe it does go lower, but I think that is the end of wave 3. Wave 1 is normally not the biggest wave, so if wave 3 was smaller than wave 1, then I would anticipate wherever wave 3 stops, let's say we come up here, we go right below wave 2 here. Wave 4 would likely take us, or sorry, wave 5, my bad, would likely take us below this level here, which would imply that we do get lower lows, guys. We probably will be going below 116K at some point. So buckle up, buttercups. That's the call. All that to say, I feel like I threw a lot of information at you guys, okay? Less so about the trajectory of Bitcoin. I mean, that was pretty simple. Actually, I probably could have made a 2-minute video on just telling you that I think we're going down to 116, 115K. That would have been easy. But I gave you a lot of little tricks and tips in here, okay? I don't want people to lose their asses. I want people to make money. And beyond all that, something that's very important, even if the price is dropping, who cares? Just buy more. If you buy right here and it drops more, buy more. Oh, you don't have more to buy? Just hold. You guys, in a week or two, we're going to be at new all-time highs again. This is not the end of the world. Everything is okay. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.